Never mind the squeaky chair. Let me get this pulled up. Make sure that I'm live. Let's see. 6 people waiting, and here we are. Dang. All right. This ended up looking all right, apparently. Let me click that live button. Let's see, Mr. Rocco. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Uh-oh. All right. Sorry, just had it was loading a little bit. So hopefully the internet here at the house, because I'm at the house today instead of the team room. I'm gonna do a quick audio, make sure my echo isn't too bad. Yeah, perfect. D-Walt, Clancy Russell. What's going on, guys? Is there a way that I can get this just to pop up? Waiting for me. Yeah, well, listen. I show up whenever I'm supposed to. What's that Gandalf says? Never. Wizard is never early, nor is he late. Shows up precisely when he means to. Willie Everett, what's going on, man? I see some of the Patreon dudes are hanging out in here. Higher X feels like 2014, right? Yeah, dude. We were getting it set up down here at the house, and this is just a blank white wall right here. So we wanted something, and we happened to find this packed up in a box down here. Happy to have it busted out, and conveniently, there's like a little studio light just right here above this corner. Let's see, John Krantz, what's going on? Rich Elb, greetings from the road again. Man, you and Scott just always on the road, dude. Dale, what's going on, man? Mark Curtis says nice to see the banner again. Yeah, yeah, I was happy to find it. Um, this is a piece of history almost, right? Uh, do, 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 do. Let's see. Les, yeah, it is looking good. Albert, I was curious if you received my email about a possible training spot in Arizona. Albert, yes, I believe I did. Apologies for not getting back to you. I could have sworn that I sent an email to you, or it could have been a different person. But yeah, we got an email from somebody out there in Arizona connecting us with a dude, and they had already asked him like, "Hey, would you be open to hosting tactical response?" And he was like, "Yeah, um, just need some basic information and stuff like that." So when we're ready to schedule the 2026 schedule for the road classes, in fact, the 2025 schedule is all the way done now. I've got it booked out till, sorry for the squeaky chair, got it booked out until December. So I'll try to get on those road classes pretty quickly. I know CUNA, Victor had messaged me wanting me to come out there to CUNA. So I'd like to go ahead and get you guys taken care of. Higher X is on the road too. Damn, dude. Let's see. Andy's here. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you as well. You know, not that I need nice weather to ride my bike, but it's been some real nice weather for riding that bike around. Rocco says absolutely loving the banner. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. So the plan is to start doing the live streams from here moving forward, just so I don't have to bother Rebecca and have her let me into the team room and everything like that. So uh, the I don't. This will probably just stay. We were talking about doing some other things like putting some hanging shelves and things like that, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of really digging how this looks on the camera right now. Scott Wexler, what's going on, guys? Liberty Seeker, hello, hello, dude. We had a have a student who called from New York. He's been calling the past few days, getting some class dates worked out and stuff like that. And he was like, "Man, like, I bet you guys don't get a lot of us New York folk down there." And I said, "You have no idea." I'm honestly, it's almost too many of you guys hanging out down here. Let's see, what do we got going on? Gary, hello, Gary. Good to hear from you. Les is here. Adam Hall. Les says he likes the way it looks now. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Again, I think this is, if we add anything, the banner will stay. It'll just be maybe adjusting how the camera is set up. This was very like last minute kind of thing. Yeah, damn Yankees. Yeah, me too. Excellent. Um, well, guys, I'm surprised you didn't take a room and turn it into the filming area. Yeah, I mean, so the way our house is set up, we have a basement down here, and my mom lives with us. So the downstairs is pretty much a whole separate living area for her and Amaya. Amaya has a bedroom down here as well. So the room I'm in right now is like was the living room for the previous people who lived down here. And I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought of like turning this whole thing into a studio of some kind. Um, yeah. So anyway, stay tuned. That may yet happen. New Yorkers represented well in fighting pistol slash rifle recently. Yeah, dude. Oh damn, Jay Gibson is here. Hello, sir. Um, yeah, dude. We have had a bunch of you New York folks showing up, and you know what? Tim wouldn't be happy that I said it, but you guys have been crushing it, you know? So it is what it is. We had a dude who came out from California. He was in that class you were in. He was doing the three gun combo. And and he ended up sending an email and was like, "Hey, I want to jump into the way of the shotgun. I want to do the way of the pistol." Despite Tim's best effort. You know? Yeah, that dude's coming back. Uh Let's see. Scott says staying tuned. Yeah. My mom might get a little mad at us though. She might. She might. But you know, listen, I'm the youngest child. I'm sure she'll forgive me for whatever I do. Let's see. Tech says, "Good evening, everyone. Jersey, representing Jersey tonight." Damn. That's another thing is like that student, the dude from New York. I was talking to him about the class signups and things like that, and he was like, "I bet you, talking about, you don't get a lot of New Yorkers." He said, "I bet most of your classes are locals, huh?" And I was like, "Dude, no. Like we have so very little like local people sign up for training here. It's starting to change a little bit. I don't know what it is, but there's been a influx of people from Tennessee, not local to Camden, but we have had a bunch of Tennesseans show up lately. Max's Path, hello, sir. I thought I had a nightmare last night, but I realized you were not there. Damn. I got to sign up for one of y'all's shotgun classes, dude. I've said it 100 times on the live stream, and I'll say it 100 times more anytime shotgun gets brought up. It's our most fun 2-day class that you can take, like bar none. It's just a blast, like pun intended. It's so much fun, and you learn a lot. So yeah, you should take that class. Uh, let's see. Red Floor reviews. So that's Mr. Tom. He's here. Hello, sir. Trying to figure out what movie to watch tonight. It's cold and I don't want to leave. Um, well, you know me, the walking movie encyclopedia. You should watch. You should watch a Studio Ghibli movie. You should watch Princess Mononoke. It's got Billy Bob Thornton as a voice actor. Let's see. Hello from Floyd Knobs, Indiana. Hello, John. Hello, hello. Frank, this is the way. Excellent. Yes, it is. Fabio, hello, sir. You made it on time to this one. You were a little late to the Patreon stream on Monday. Disappointed in you. Not mad, just disappointed. Let's see. Where am I at? Awesome class. Oh yeah, awesome class with awesome people. Yeah. So I mean, with that being said, if you talking about the shotgun class, part of getting some classes on the schedule was it has turned into a tradition apparently to get a shotgun class in December, and a bunch of people tend to show up for it. So the request this year was for an advanced fighting shotgun on the weekend. So I believe it's either the first or second weekend in December. We have an advanced fighting shotgun. It's a full way up. So fighting shotgun starts on Thursday, Friday. Advanced is on the weekend, and then the way up stuff will wrap up on that Monday. So if you want to join the Cool Guy Club and hang out for a shotgun class in the winter, you have a chance to knock all of them out all at once. The advanced class will probably be like the bigger class because everybody in the past 2 or 3 years has had shotgun in December now. So I'm very stoked for that class. I hope we get a big turnout for it. Den of Thieves 2 is okay, not as good as the first one, but it is still a pretty decent movie. Let's see. I haven't seen Den of Thieves 1. I will not be watching anime, sir. I was thinking Cherokee Creek or Daylight's End. Listen, you don't know. You don't know, man. You have a whole world available to you, and you're just choosing to be open-minded. What's that first thing on the closed-minded? What's that first thing on the gear list that we kind of talk about? Yeah, Princess Mononoke is a classic, and it has plenty of violence. A dude uses a bow and arrow to stop another dude from using his sword to kill somebody, and it pins his arms to a tree. His body is no longer connected to the arms. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you'd be into. Let's see. Yeah, toddler dad duties kept me away. No worries, man. That's probably why you were asking about doing some videos over the kids and guns and firearm safety and things like that. Excellent. No, our Camden is not the same as the Camden up in New Jersey. Absolutely. Well, actually, I don't know. I've never been, so I can't say. But I would guess. Chances are pretty slim that our Camden is similar to yours or the same thing. Kyle Boer complimenting the backdrop. Absolutely, yeah. You can thank Heather. I believe she was the one who found it while we were down here getting the room ready for the live stream tonight. So I just threw up a couple of thumbtacks to get it out of the way and looking semi presentable. But here we are, man. Let's see. Den of Thieves 2 is okay, not as good. I already read that. Let's see. The advanced class in December is supposed to be full of multi-alumni. Yes, it's supposed to be. So this last batch that came through the fighting shotgun in December, so it had a bunch of, you guys know them, like, Matt Dorito was in it, and Fat Nuts and his family, and David Forbes, and I mean just all kinds of people. A good group of dudes, just like all the other December fighting shotgun classes have been. So anyway, it's gonna be good. My girlfriend told me I don't need training. I ain't never hit a woman before, but ... Listen, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't help you. I've never had that problem. Luckily, Heather, whenever I'm like, I haven't taken a class in a while, I need to take one. She's like, yeah, you're right. You do need to take one. Like, get your shit together. Won't be watching it tonight. Okay. All right. Listen, I'm not going to press you on it. Listen, you can't, I'm not that type of person. Just, do what you got to do whenever you're ready. And press. Let's see. Camden, New Jersey is almost a mirror image of Camden, Tennessee. At one time was the murder capital of the country. Bam. Let's see. Oh, let's see. What did Heather say to Les? Doesn't matter. Higher X might be time for a new girlfriend. Yeah, Glover, get your shit together. Yeah, I know, man. What was the last class I took? I'm probably due for one. It's been a few months, and I try to get one every quarter. Heather probably knows. If she's still watching, I'm sure she'll comment. What was the last class I took? Damn, I can't remember. I mean, that's a bad sign. That means it's been too long. Yeah, anyway, I'm due. Obviously, I'm due. Taking a local pistol draw class this weekend. Watch some old videos James made and being a good student to get ready. Great content. Yeah. Yeah, man. It blows my mind. Here, I'll pat you guys on the back, and you've heard me talk about this before. But anytime that we have a a instructor down here, whether we're hosting them or we just bump into them on the road or something like that. If the fact that they had a class with a bunch of tactical response alumni in it gets brought up, like almost without a doubt, like 10 for 10, they are talking about how good of students you guys are. And it has a lot to do with the way that that James pressed the, keeping an open mind and not letting things become dogma, so on and so forth. So you guys keep that up. It is too easy, not to get on a high horse or anything like that, but in the intro class I specifically address this because I'm talking to new students, people who may just be starting their training journey, and I have a section on it where I talk about mindset, but not mindset in the Marshall sense, because it's, the intro class is a skill focused thing, but the mindset of being a student. And it's too easy, particularly after your first training class. Like I know it was for me, and you guys can say in the chat if it was the same for you or not. But after you trained with like that first person, whether it was with us or with somebody else, it's too easy to just be like, yes, like this is the way. And then after that, anything that contradicts what you learned in that first one or two classes from that school, it's bullshit. It doesn't count. It's like you disagree with it, and it goes against everything you believe in, yada, yada, yada. We have to fight that. So like specifically in the intro class, I tell them like, hey, like if this is your first class, if you're doing intro and fighting pistol, like I think you made the right choice, but don't let this become a dogma. Go train with other people, and when you're there, even if what they say that disagrees or contradicts what we taught you, do it their way for as long as you're in that class. Give it an honest effort, because you don't grow as a person or as a student if you don't actually put the effort in to learning. So anyway, like again, all of this boils down to I went off on this tangent bringing up the videos of James making about being a good student. All of this boils down to James pressing that, and yeah, I mean it was definitely set me on a especially after I started teaching, opened my eyes to it for sure. Let's see, was it the student of the gun pistol class? No, I think, because I know that, I don't know. It was either that one or it could have been, I guess if you count Jaegerfest was in January. And then I cannot remember when I took Andrew's red dot class. And then of course I did his force on force thing out there, proving grounds. But it's all a blur. I can't remember what order that was in. Look, Scott doing my job for me. Hey guys, if you're watching, it's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go hit the like button on my phone, since this is a separate account. Let's see. Always a professional student. Empty cup sponge status. Excellent. Yep. Paul Wilson. Hello, sir. Thank you for tuning in. What's going on? Student for life. Show up ready to learn. Period. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, like when I went and took Gunsight 250, so that was a class that I took like with James. So like, if you don't think James practiced what he preached whenever it came to being a good student, I mean, anything they were telling us to do, we did it that way all day, every day for the full 5 days that we were there, and everything like that. And I mean, it's just how it is. You can't say whether something is right or wrong if you don't give it an honest consideration. Like if you're not being intellectually honest and holding yourself accountable, like how can you know? So I don't know. It's tough. James said it best. You paid an instructor to teach you their ways. Do it the way they teach you and take what you need and what works. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Even unrelated things can help learn something better. We always can get better understanding, even if it's a year or decades later. Absolutely. I've only taken one other, so this one's from Fabio. I've only taken one other professional class. Lucky that they had a very similar mindset. Yeah, sorry, there's an icon over the chat where I could do the little heart thing. Anyway, the problem is talking to people with no training and saying things that make me cringe. Yeah, I mean, that is tough, but those are the people that we don't want to. Not that any of you guys would ever become those type of people, but we definitely don't even want to emulate that mindset. So I mean, it's why whenever there's like whenever we had those few like controversies on the internet and stuff like that, from some of the shorts, like I appreciate you guys getting in there and trying to give the context and everything like that. Um, but but yeah, I mean, like we're not getting through to those guys because they haven't learned that first thing, that open mind. They are completely boom. Like they were taught that way however long ago, whether it was a month, a year, decades ago, and anything that goes against that is wrong and could never be correct, could never be adjacent to correct or anything like that. So um anyway, let's see. You guys have anything for me tonight? I didn't come into this with any plans really. I'm trying to think, like, what do we have going on? So we have Student of the Gun. Speaking of Student of the Gun, they're coming in this weekend. Excited to get to hang out with Paul and stuff like that. Um, let's see. I don't know, man. Throw something at me. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? Normally I can pick something to rant and rave about, but not feeling it tonight. My brain don't work no good. Know a few people in that class. Yeah, I was considered taking a class from a particular big school until the owner made a video on YouTube and said the word administrative. Turned me off ASAP. So, well, here's here's the silver lining to that. Like, I think Tim does a pretty good job of talking about things like this. Um, there is nothing wrong with well, let me back up. How does Tim describe it? Tim wants to take the class that he signed up for. So if he knows out the gate, like this is going to be a skill focus, it's not a tactics or a mindset class, this is a X, Y, and Z class. Like as long as that's up front, then he's fine. It where he'll start to get upset is if he shows up to the class and it was marketed as a tactics class or a mindset oriented class, and then it's more of a skill focused thing. So the silver lining to that is at least at least he's letting you know up front what's going on. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't not train with somebody, but I guess I get what you're saying. Like, if I heard them start talking about it, it might dampen my mood a little bit. But if it was something that you were interested in, I would not train with somebody just because they do administrative things. I would just make sure I'd want to know that up front, you know. Um, and you almost have to do like that mental block kind of thing. When we talk about dry practice and you put yourself in your room and all the live ammo is out of there and you say, I am beginning dry practice out loud, like to give your brain that mental disconnect. You almost have to do the same thing whenever they start making you do weird stuff like that. Like, probably don't say it out loud on the line because then people are going to look at you funny, or do. I mean, hey man, listen, whatever. But at least in your head, be like, I am doing an administrative procedure. Like give yourself that block. Uh, Student of the Gun Pistol was a great class, dude. I had such a good time in their pistol class. It was a blast, like a lot of fun. So, very excited to take some other classes with them. I know I talked about it last week, but that's one of the first things I'm going to talk to Paul, because I know Jay was talking about classes similar to contractor. I'd love to pick Paul's brain about their Patriot Fire Team and see if that kind of fits the bill. Excuse me. I'm drinking a carbonated Monster for the first time in a long time, and it's getting to me. But anyway, so yeah, like Paul and everybody over there is great. Let's see. I hate the bait and switch on classes too. Many shooting classes that pretend to be more. Yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how much more I could say about it, but anybody who, because it is dishonest, it is disingenuous. Like it feels like they're luring you in, bait and switch, right? They're luring you in with like, hey, look, like we're gonna do all this cool shit, and this is all about fighting or tactics or whatever. And then they're like, unload and show clear, and you're like, what the fuck, you know? Here we go, guys. We're gonna do a bill drill 10 times. Uh, let's see. Anyone have any experience with GBRS group classes with DJ Shipley? I do not. I have not heard of that. Took a pistol class in Feb. Every drill had a specific round count, so everyone's guns would be empty at the end. And again, so listen. I'm fine with that. It, I'm okay with that. If that's what the instructor is going for, um, like as long as you know going into that, because you know who else does that? Craig Douglas. And Craig Douglas is fucking awesome. I don't think there's anybody who has taken ECQC or any of his other classes that would be like, oh yeah, no, that was, you know, that wasn't what I expected out of the class. No, like Craig has it down to yeah, he's like, go load 8 rounds. You need 2 magazines with 8 rounds in each of them, like that kind of thing. Like, so you can definitely do something like that and still, while yes, it's a bit administrative, but still have a very, very high end, like actual no bullshit, like fighting class. So there's little things like that. Yeah. Me and Sufana and Austin learned a bunch. Buell was a great backup instructor. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that Buell was helping out on the line and stuff back then. I know that he's been out there teaching classes and stuff like that. Yeah, no, awesome. Whenever Paul told me or sent me that picture of all you guys and stuff like that, he said he was going to have a bunch of a few of our alumni in their Vegas class. I was like, hell yeah, I love it, man. Like I don't know. It's almost like a proud dad, you know, like whenever one of you guys, I know you're in a class, especially for someone like Paul or Don or fucking anybody who is kind of close to the company, like, and I know you guys are going to crush it. And just, you know, it's like watching you go up to the tee. Too many. Oh, one reload, one for me. Yeah. Listen, don't put that in your don't put that in your tactics class, you know. Don't market it as a tactical class and then do a bunch of shoot one, reload, shoot ones. Like that's bullshit. Still learned a lot in class, but definitely had a couple cringe moments. Yeah, I mean, yes, I can see that, you know. Like if Craig wasn't Craig, if this was just a like, you know, random instructor 97 kind of pistol class and they were doing things like that, you know, like, yeah, it probably bummed me out a little bit, but I will put up with a lot of administrative stuff if the information is good and the drills are being ran well, in the sense of like, you know, you can do something as crazy as that, like, hey, load a specific amount of rounds so everybody's guns are empty. Like I don't, you know, like walking off the line with an empty gun and stuff like that. Like if that's your goal, I don't know. Thinking about it out loud, I'm like, if your goal is to make everybody walk off the line with an empty gun, I don't know, man. It can be tough. It can be tough, but I'll put up with it again if the information is good. Let's see. Tom says he's got to run, leaving the video on for you. The rest of you savages, smack that like button. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, man. All that viewership stuff counts. Total time viewed and everything. He said a few times how much he loved having tactical response dudes in class because we do what is asked and he doesn't have to Hawkeye us. Yeah, and that is the overwhelming consensus anytime someone talks to me about a class that you guys are in. I mean, your students do what they're told. They showed up. They showed up with their mags loaded. Like, you know, we're never having to wait on them. Like everybody's ready to go when we tell them to be ready, and things like that. Like, yeah, you guys are just good students apparently. So, yeah, I again, I love it. I love it when I hear stuff like that, and Especially when it comes from instructors. So of course I like it whenever dudes like Paul and Don and all them talk about you guys, but especially when it comes to instructors who maybe have a bit of a preconceived notion of what tactical response alumni are like. Um, and I've talked about it on the live stream before, but when Andy first did the surgical speed shooting summit, there was a dude in there who was a bit standoffish. I can't remember his name, but he was a bit standoffish when he first showed up. Like I don't know what he came into this event expecting and whatnot. But by the end of it, like he pulled me to the side and specifically said, like, "Wow, like I was not expecting your students to act the way they did." I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, and of course, I was like, yeah, like I don't know. I was still I was still relatively new to teaching then. I mean, I'd only been teaching for about a year whenever that happened, and I had not yet really dove deep into the internet culture of training, you know? So much like a lot of stuff on this path that I've been on for a while, like when I get introduced to the real world of firearms training, and what I mean by that is like when I first took fighting pistol, and then I would hear stories about like, oh yeah, like at other ranges you can't point your gun up, you can't shoot more than one round a second, kind of thing. It like just boom, like blew my mind. Like what? Like what are you talking about? Like that is crazy. Like what's the point, kind of thing. So when this dude was talking about that, um, I was like, I don't know. I was, and I guess I mean there should have been clues, right? Like James had his YouTube, and obviously everybody on the internet was not always, but he had plenty of haters on the internet, right? Um, but that was one thing, like looking back on it, I don't know if I was thinking like that was just like specifically targeted at James. So anyway, when this dude said that, I talked a lot to get to this point. When that dude said that in my head, I'm like, aren't all students like this? Like don't all students like just go to a class and then listen to the instructor and do what they're asked to do and everything like that? Because even with like in the years that I've been teaching now, I have yet to have like someone show up to a class and just be an asshole. Like absolutely not going to do what you tell me to do, like anything like that. And these aren't like they're multi alumni or anything like that. New students. I have not had one dude show up and that do that thing where they're, well, maybe I've had one dude do that where it's like, I'm going to show you how I shoot. I paid you to show you how I shoot my gun. But it's never even been that severe. The hardest thing that I always have to struggle with dudes like that on is just reloads, you know. Everybody wants to drop the mag first. Everybody wants to, do it like retain a magazine. That's the one thing they struggle with, and some of them are bullheaded on it. I will say, I have had a few guys who just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like not verbally, but after the 10th time, you tell them to remind them, and they don't do the, oh shit, like sorry, I keep forgetting that, man. I'm sorry. Like they just look at you and then go right back to what they're doing. That is the worst I've had, So I don't know. It's just, again, I had no idea that there were people out there who would go to a class and 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 just not listen. Let's see. Misfits, y'all. Yeah, so y'all attract a decent bunch of misfits. Yeah, misfits. You're being too nice. Heathens would be more accurate. Met some of the most solid dudes in tactical response classes, man. And so, dude, this is just turning into an alumni appreciation thread, live stream. Maybe I should do one of these every once in a while where I can just make you guys feel good. So that dude from New York who was calling and he's had a bunch of questions like all you New Yorkers do, and doesn't make any sense. And anyway, he was talking about how he could tell just from watching the old videos and seeing the interaction that James had with people in on video or in the old live streams and things like that, how much of how did he describe it? But I mean, paraphrasing, but he was like, how much of a culture you guys have made there, how hard James worked to foster this thing. Because he asked about the team room. He said, like, hey man, like, is that real? Like, do you just let someone come and like stay at your house pretty much, kind of thing? And I was like, yeah, no, I mean, James was doing that before the team room was even really a thing. It was just dudes crashing on his couch kind of thing. And anyway, so I say all that to say, like, you guys are continuing to foster this reputation for our alumni as well. Like it or not, you guys are all representatives of the company. So I'm going to start monitoring your social media, and I will be contacting HR if you do anything that you're not supposed to. So don't let me catch a video of you press checking, man. Send it straight to Tim, because Tim's the head of HR. Dylan says it was me. Ah, damn. I can't remember what that was. Are you saying that you were one of those guys that I struggled with, or were you the example that blew that one dude's mind? There were several times Brian yelled at me for dropping the mag first in rifle. Yep. It's not just they expected bad maybe, but you guys performed exceptionally well. Yeah, I mean, listen, maybe I was being defensive because, like I said, this guy seemed standoffish, but like the way he said that, like the undertone that I got from it was, hey, I expected your guys to be a bunch of stuck up assholes who wouldn't do what I told them to do. And I was pleasantly surprised. Like that was like the reading between the lines I got. Let's see. Chase says definitely was hard first day to break that mag habit. I was much better day 2. Yeah, man. And again, it's one of those things. The dude, and I've talked about it before. The dude who, when you come up to him and you on the 10th time, and you say, "Hey, man, don't get that mag first before you drop that other one." He goes, "Fuck yeah!" Like shit. Sorry, man. Like yeah, no, next time. That dude is continuing to try and kudos to him. I get it. Muscle memory is a tough thing to break. All those pathways you've myelinated in your brain and whatnot. Very tough to break. So I'll work with that guy for a week to get those reloads sorted out. It's the other dude who I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind then. Perfect example was in this past rifle class. We did a way of the rifle, and there was a dude in it, and all the first 3 days. So he did not get the reloads sorted out until like day 2 of advanced fighting rifle. And he finally started grabbing the fresh mag first. Yeah. He crushed it though. At the start of class, he said, "Hey, I'm not used to doing gun up, so it's probably going to take me a long time to get used to that." Like, yeah, I already know I'm going to struggle with it, and then like never once struggled with not going gun up. Tell HR I said fucking try it. Listen, man, Tim's got a lot of free time right now. I don't know if you want to give him a task. What percentage of students don't show up for day 2? I would say less than 1%. I mean, it is a fraction of a percent for people who don't show up on day 2. In the 11 years that I've worked here, so handling phone calls and emails and now teaching and all that stuff, I mean, less than 10 times for sure, maybe even less than 5. And a few of those are due to physical limitations. It's just like someone signed up for the class and they're like, "Hey, I'm fucking beat. Like, I don't think I can make it through day 2 safely." And we hold the credit for them, and they come back, they finish it up, so on and so forth. I mean, like definitely less than 5 times have I ever had a dude like not show up to day 2 and then send an email saying like, "Hey, I didn't show up because of how strongly I disagree." Paraphrasing, you know, how strongly I disagree, or Tim was doing male masturbatory gestures, and I didn't want to be back for that. you know. Um, let's see. Scott is here. Hello, cat ass. Checking in from North Carolina this evening. Damn. No, I was joking. That was your problem, student. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, not too much of a joke behind that. You're a problem in a different way. Like you get what we're doing here. It's everything else. Tim just been to HR so much he was finally made in charge of it. Yeah. When you start, I mean, at that point, just like how he got his job here, he was just hanging around so much that James had to put him to work. I keep running the charging handle out of habit in a local rifle class. I apologized and asked if I could run the drill again. Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you guys running into the other version of that muscle memory problem. Which I can't be surprised by because it happens to me too. Anytime I've taken a class. I mean, when I was up there at Gunsight, it took everything in me to not move my feet every time I drew the gun, and in fact if I got a malfunction, I always moved. I couldn't help it. Like it just happened instinctively. And this has happened a few times in different classes where when I get a click instead of a bang, I move tap rack. None of the instructors have ever given me a hard time. In fact, every single time it's happened, they've always come up and been like, "Hey man, like I like what you're doing there. Just, like maybe one of them has been like, try not to do it because I don't want the other people trying to copy you." 9 times out of 10, they're like, "Hey, dude, fucking keep it up, man." Any word on dates for CUNA, Idaho? Yeah, we were actually just talking about it. So no hard dates set yet, but I was talking about the 2026 schedule, and I want to go ahead and get our out west dates like on the schedule and set in. So expect something soon. I'd really like to have that 2026 schedule out now. I just want to go ahead and get it all the way done as well, just so people have plenty of options and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to at least get the CUNA and Arizona classes done because now it'll either be 2 or 3 years since we've been to Arizona now, and this will be 2026 will make 2 years. We were just in CUNA last year. We didn't go this year, and I don't want to miss CUNA for more than a year if I have to. During fighting pistol in Titusville, I guess some people went to the range staff and complained after watching us through the glass. They were told we were okay. Yeah. Tim doesn't help that, I'm sure, because Tim likes to tell a story of him like seeing people watching and then like walking out there and being like, "Oh, it's getting dangerous in there, boys." Like, The instructor was like, "Do you care to explain why you do that?" After I explained, he said, "Okay, then I'm fine with that." Cool. And that's the thing. I think that like so many things in life, especially right now, where it's like such a us versus them mentality, and it's honestly why I backed off of comments on the internet. Like so now, like if someone says something shitty that on an old video or something like that, if it crosses a threshold like absolute just vile shit like I've seen on some of the older videos recently, I just delete it. Like that dude's not here for a conversation, so on and so forth. But if it's someone that is just disagreeing, I will try to have I'll try to explain our thought process. I'll try to give them the context and things like that. Because most people, I would say, most people, especially when you're face to face like that, are fine. Like that's typically the reaction that you get. So anyway, I don't know. Like we're all on the same team, at the end of the day, like I have to believe it. I don't know. Maybe I'm an optimist, and I've talked about it before, but I just have to believe that even those people who are getting on there and being like, "You're going to get someone killed," like this is dumb, yada yada. Like we all train. We're all passionate about firearms in some capacity. So like we're we're pointed kind of in the same direction. Like some are more this way and maybe veering off onto different paths and stuff like that. But damn, like like we just gotta kind of have a unified front. And you got to be the change you want to see. So that's what I'm going for. Grant Tilly, every micro movement should have an explanation why and why not. Let's see, Scott. Okay, I'm going to take off. Y'all have a good night. Hope to see y'all sometime soon. Yes, sir, Scott. I hope, dude. I know that you've had that fighting shotgun in December, so it might be time for you to get the advanced one knocked out if you haven't yet. Let's see, Ed. Been thinking about what separates tactical response. Sorry, I almost read that as Thunder Ranch because TR, Thunder Ranch. From most other training is the level of trust the instructors have for the students. In return, students really listen to what's being taught. John Farnham, I'll get back to that, Ed, because I want to talk about it a little bit more, but I'm behind. Let's see. John Farnham very politely pointed out something I did that he didn't like that I learned from y'all. He didn't make me feel bad about it. He even said he understood why I did it. Very professional. Yeah, like Farnham's not a fan of gun up. You do gun down in Farnham's class. So yeah, absolutely. So that whole thing about putting trust into the students, um, it was it was one of my favorite things that I learned in our instructor class. And looking back on it, it's like, is that even in the outline, or is this just something that James said? And anyway, I'll get to it. Students are intelligent and capable until proven otherwise, you know? And that really is such a driving force in the way that we teach our classes, in the way that everything is outlined and set up and everything like that. We place an expectation on the students with some level of trust. Getting to what you're talking about, we trust that 99% of the students will be able to get to this level that we're setting for them. And like 99% of them do. And where I think people mess up when it comes to teaching is they don't place that trust in the students, or they assume. James used to talk about how, like, oh well, you can do that with your guys, but I couldn't do that with my guys. It's like, well, why not? Like we have dudes show up who just bought a pistol 2 weeks ago. It's still in their box, and they go and take fighting pistol with it, and they do fine. So it's not like a competency issue. It all comes down to what expectations are you putting on the students, and are you giving them the ability to meet those expectations, or are you going to shove those expectations way down here and then treat them like they're children and need help even reaching that low bar you've set for them? Anyway, it is a big difference. Don't forget PA. You're absolutely right. Yes, yeah, we'll be back up there in PA for sure. I'll need to remember to message Mike and get those dates settled down. I know I have a meeting on the calendar, but it's not anytime soon. It's like, I don't know. For some reason, it's in October or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we'll be back up to PA for sure. So Rocco's agreeing with Ed. Excellent. Let's see, Kevin. It's tough to follow a curriculum this long and go somewhere else. Same happened with my martial arts after I lost my teacher. Yeah, absolutely. You do gun down if you're in the same zip code as Mr. Farnham. That's right. We got Rifle Woo. Hello from Poland. Hello from Camden, Tennessee. Hello, sir. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know. I don't recognize the name. I don't know if you've been in the chat before, but if you have any questions or anything, throw them out, man. So speaking to Kevin, like, it's tough to follow a curriculum this long and go somewhere else. Yeah, I definitely, for sure, understand the thought process behind that. It's easy. It's too easy to get comfortable with what we know and what we're learning and things like that. Yeah, it's too easy to do that. But I'm telling you, man, it's not the best business plan. It's not the best business plan that I'm about to start throwing at you. Yeah, you should probably go take a class with somebody else. Like, you should just make it happen if you haven't, or if you're just saying it's when you do take those classes, it's tough. But if you haven't trained with somebody else, you should, you know. I mean, I half kid whenever I say this, but how will you know how right we are until you go and see what wrong looks like? Like, obviously, I'm only half kidding, or when I say it, like it's a tongue in cheek way of saying it, but yeah, like until you go out there and actively try and learn from people who disagree with us, I mean, you may go take one of those classes and be like, you know what, like I understand why tactical response does it this way, but that dude explained this really well, and it feels better to run the gun that way. Like that, this might be something worth practicing more. So, anyway, it that's just how it is. This is just what you got to do. James once wanted to hit me with his bat for stupid questions in 2020. Well, um, you can feel safe right now because that bat is put up somewhere. I don't even know where it's at. So for the moment, you're safe. You could almost ask any stupid question you want. I do know somebody over there in Poland though. So if it's too stupid, I've been looking for a reason to visit. So I might just show up. That's what I'm getting at. If you weren't picking up what I was putting down, what classes are you looking forward to as an instructor in the next month or so, Joey? Have you got any classes lined up to take as a student anytime in the near future? So as an instructor, I'm always excited for the intro classes, and thank you, Cat Ass, for the donations you made for handing those books out in that class. That's so awesome, so cool. Been really enjoying doing that with the students. Um, so the weekend that student of the gun is here, I won't be able to hang out with them on the range because I'll actually be teaching our fighting pistol class, right? Um, but I'm always excited to hang out with them. Up soon with in other classes, Dawn's scoped carbine. I'm excited to hang out during that one. I don't know if I'm going to jump in and take the class, but at the very least, I'll be hanging out. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but I don't have any classes lined up, which is unusual for me. Normally, I have like by this time of the year, I've already had like two or three classes. So I definitely got to get my calendar booked up and pick those classes out. I really want to get up there with Ock up there in Murfreesboro and take their parking lot pistol. I've talked about that for a long time. Still haven't made it happen. Um, as far as again, and then as far as teaching, we have an advanced three gun combo coming up relatively soon. I think it's in June or something like that. I really like the three gun combo structure, the pistol, the rifle, the shotgun. I think it's a lot of fun. And it gets a bunch of bases covered at once. So for dudes like the dude who just signed up for it here recently, lives all the way out in California, and like flying from California to Camden, or driving, like no, for a 2-day class, it's almost not worth the squeeze at that point. So I don't know. I always like it when dudes sign up for that, and maybe it's because I came up with the idea. Same thing for when I did the fight week and nobody signed up for it, where it was like the fight continues and the fight at night, and fucking nobody cared. Like, so it's like the opposite of that. Like that broke my heart. But we have people who are interested in the three gun combo, so that always makes me feel good when a dude jumps onto one of those. If you aren't outgrowing one school by becoming your own person, you might want to fix that. Yeah, you don't realize how good the teaching methods are until you go other places and see other ways. Perspective is everything. Look at that. Sometimes, Dylan, you say things, and I'm like, you know what? That dude has read some books and taken some classes. Rocco, hey Joey, I only have so much to spend on training. I know where this is the way. Yeah. Tactical response. Hey man, I appreciate it, dude. At the end of the day, like if you were like, I can only train with one, like I only can take one class a year, or I can only train with one school once a year, so on and so forth. Of course, like then you should train with us because if we're arrogant enough to think that our compass is pointing true north, and we are arrogant enough to think that, then why, yes, absolutely come train with us. That's all I'm saying. But then in that case, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I, what's the answer? How do then you have to put work into finding those other perspectives in a way that, you know, fits your budget and things like that. So, like, not the comment section of YouTube videos. Like, that's not where you're going for this thing. But, you know, anyone out there who is put much like James would, who would put what they believe to be good information, solid information in a way that you can absorb it. You should look for that stuff so you can compare and contrast to what we're doing. The class I was taking next week got canceled, so I'll have to find a class soon. Damn. Yep, absolutely. Joey, have you considered doing a bad drill for drill of the month? The point being to explain its shortcomings after demonstrating. So I wouldn't do a bad drill for drill of the month, but I kind of like where your mind is at there. I kind of like what you're getting at. What I would consider doing is maybe, I think this is a good idea. I'm going to pick up on it. I'm going to pick up the ball you put down and run with it. What about picking what would be considered a popular drill? I can't think of one off the top of my head, but let's do like shoot one, the 1R1s, right? Shoot one, reload, shoot one. Like, what if we took that drill, which I don't think is necessarily I guess it's fine for a skill focused thing, but are there better drills that achieve the same purpose? Even if we try to keep it in the realm of skill focus. So, I'm not even talking like comparing it to like a skill focused drill to like a martial drill or something like that. I definitely I like that idea. But again, like, I wouldn't do just like a bad drill and then say like this is why you shouldn't do the drill. I would, at the very least, I would give an alternative. That's kind of where my brain went after you said that. And so anyway, not a bad idea, Mark. I kind of dig that. I kind of really dig that. uh, Sometimes the brain work good. Yep. Sometime it do. Sometime it be like that. That's just how it rolls. Your Kool-Aid tastes the best. I mean, listen, I'm a little bit biased, but I'd agree with you. 1R1 is a way to time your reload. Is there not another way to practice the same skill that isn't superficial? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I guess when I was talking about it as well, I don't know of like a specific drill, that does that necessarily. That is like a skill focused drill. Like, is there a popular drill that those competition guys run, that does what 1R1s do, but better? Because again, and I don't know. I guess maybe it would be okay to bridge that gap. I just wouldn't want people to be, because as soon as you get on there and you're like, hey, instead of doing a 1R1, you should do, you know, fucking fast, or you should just do the Wyatt protocol. You ever think of that? They're going to be like, well, apples to oranges, like, this isn't what that thing is working on, and da 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 kind of thing. Anyway, Les says this is the way. Bye, y'all. Bye, Les. I guess it is just about that time. We got a couple of minutes left here. But yeah, I don't know. I've been messing around with this after taking the 1R1 is the go-to because it triggers the shot timer. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Yeah, I guess I get that. But yeah, like, why? I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess around with it. My brain is not working good tonight. Kyle Boer says you guys should do an alumni only 2-gun competition. That way we can all avoid the unload and show clear nonsense. Paul says, have a good night. You as well, because we'll be wrapping up here soon. After Lewis and I went to the tactical games, we did talk a while. In fact, we were trying to host them down here. But then we also talked about putting together like the tactical response games. So that idea is still in the can. Might be something down the road when after we get the culvert fixed for sure, because that washed away. But the same good Kool-Aid, absolutely. It is a good idea. Okay, well, hey guys, if you're interested in it, then let's figure something out. Why talk about it a whole bunch and then not make it happen, right? So looking for volunteers. Who wants to be in charge of organizing a two-gun event down here at Tactical Response for alumni only? If you're interested in that, send me an email to joey@tacticalresponse.com. So while you guys are thinking about that, I'll go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Thank you as always for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I have started the Patreon streams back. I talked with those guys last week about what kind of content that they would want to see on the Patreon. I have a vision in my head for like content going to Liberty TV, the content going to YouTube, and then the content going to Patreon. But anyway, if you were previously a Patreon member and just didn't see last week's post, it will be back at the first Monday of every month. So make sure you join in next time. And this is the way. I'm just going to walk over here and press these buttons. Never mind me. Hit that. Uh-oh. Oh no, the end stream button is blocked. Shelton, help me. Oh no.